First, they are violent and sometimes deadly games played among the fans at heavy metal concerts. Beach balling, stage diving, and body surfing became increasingly popular after they were featured in the movie Wayne's World 2. But what's funny in a movie is sometimes tragic in real life. As Elisa White reports, these games have led to crippling injuries and deaths.
This kind of wild, almost riotous behavior is called moshing. It often happens near the stage of heavy metal concerts and what's called a mosh pit.
It's performance art that everybody gets to participate in.
Performance art? Perhaps, but to many it actually looks more like uncontrollable, senseless violence.
Come up like a place to vent, let your angers out.
Once the music and the moshing begin, a couple of other activities also get underway: body surfing and stage diving. Body surfing occurs when fans are hoisted above the crowd and passed around like a beach ball.
When everybody puts their hands on your body, you feel everybody's energy and you get high off of that energy.
The activity was made popular in the silver screen comedy Wayne's World 2.
I feel weird.
Stage diving happens when a fan and sometimes a performer leap wildly from the stage and into the crowd below.
They come here and think that it's cool to just deck people in the head for fun, and it's actually just about dancing and movement.
Fans can get seriously hurt, even fatally injured.
The whole time that we were sitting in there, I thought, he's dead. God, I can't believe he's dead.
Lana Klaus is talking about her 27-year-old brother, Keith. Last year on June 19th, Father's Day, Keith Phillips, a construction worker, went to a Metallica concert here at the Riverbend Music Center near Cincinnati. The heavy metal fan was rocking to the pulsing beat when suddenly, in the middle of the show, the unexpected happened. Keith was body surfing when he was somehow dropped on his head. Lana rushed to the hospital when she got the news.
He had a tear that ran down from his eyes, and he wasn't crying. His chin was quivering, but he said, "I'm never going to walk again."
Keith survived the fall, but is now a paraplegic, confined to a wheelchair. We wanted to talk to Keith about his accident, but his lawyer wouldn't allow an interview. Instead, his big sister Lana spoke for him. She says Keith voluntarily body surfed, but now regrets doing it. He warns others not to make the same mistake he did.
If I had a child of mine that was going to a concert, I definitely wouldn't want him in a mosh pit.
Meanwhile, young people across the country are getting caught up in this latest craze, with no fear of the risks.
Blood, plenty of it. Cuts, wounds, gotta get stitches, stuff like that, but
Like people just fall down, they can't get up and no one helps them. Somebody hurt their back. They can break their legs or yeah, basically.
People keep getting hurt, and Paul Wertheimer is angry about it.
There's no reason that anybody should be dying at a rock concert.
Wertheimer is a crowd safety consultant. He began his research in 1979 after 11 people died during a stampede at a Who concert in Cincinnati.
I think the public believes that somebody is looking out for the safety of fans, but that's not the case.
Wertheimer says the concert business is terribly underregulated. He blames standing room only festival seating for a lot of the problems, as well as apathy by the bands, concert promoters, and venue operators.
I've had some promoters say to me, well, it's only 2 or 3 deaths in Salt Lake City. And my response to them has always been, well, why don't you tell me how many deaths are okay and how many are too many?
A year ago, Todd Miller was an engineering student at the University of Iowa. He says he was an innocent bystander hurt at a Metallica concert. Todd claims he was grabbed by the crowd and thrown into the mosh pit against his will.
I fell over backwards over the top of the crowd, and I fell about 6 or 7 feet, I would say, and landed right on my head.
Todd says he ended up with a severe concussion and head laceration. He's suing Metallica and the state of Iowa for damages. A Metallica spokesman had no comment on the suit. Janice Becker is Todd's attorney.
The band had the ability at any time to stop the concert and say, stop the body passing, I think that gives them responsibility. They have a duty to provide for the safety of the concert goers.
Wertheimer says bands often encourage body surfing and stage diving. He claims some groups even threaten to take their concerts elsewhere if a venue operator tries to ban mosh pits. Members of the Boston-based group Sam Black Church admit some bands like this risky behavior.
There are those few bands that maybe will instigate things, and maybe they get some weird kick out of seeing kids beat each other up in front of them, but we certainly don't.
Wertheimer advises concert goers to stay away from mosh pits or be wary at the least. He's hoping more fans who are hurt will bring lawsuits. If that happens, Wertheimer believes the industry will have to assume more responsibility for what happens at performances, or run the risk of more people ending up like Keith Phillips.
I know that really has an effect on him as far as what his future is going to be and what he can look forward to. He's like, gosh, I'll never get married now. I'll never have kids. And that's the hardest thing to deal with.
That is a tragic price to pay. And in just 16 heavy metal concerts where those activities got out of hand, there were 2 deaths and 1,000 people were injured. When we come back, the stars of 90210 are here.